Hey everybody, welcome back to Cast Strength. I just wanted to wish everyone a very happy upcoming Ardbeg Day. Obviously the most important day in all of whiskey, because it's about the most important and best distillery in the world, which of course is Ardbeg. And I just wanted everybody to know that I'm okay. I'm doing okay, and if you don't hear from me again, then I definitely wasn't kidnapped by a deranged cult of oh shit, they're coming. Hey there everybody, Josh here from Cast Strength again, and we're here just before Ardbeg Day, which is coming up on Saturday, so we're going to put this video out on Friday, talking about the new whiskey that Ardbeg has out this year, which of course is the Ardbeg Drum. Now I've got two different versions of the drum. The first one I have here is the committee release, which they put out in really limited quantities. This guy comes in at 52% ABV. It's a single malt, so all malted barley, of course, and like most Ardbegs, also dried with peat, so very peaty and smoky. It's a non-age statement whiskey, so we don't know exactly how old the whiskey is in here, but that's kind of typical for the majority of Ardbeg releases. The committee release versions are exclusively available to committee members, but in the United States, because it works a little differently with the shipping of bottles of whiskey, they get allocated to stores, at least here in Texas where I am. So I was able to pick this guy up at a local Specs, and we've already cracked this one open and had a few pours out of it and really enjoying it. But the regular version, which is much more widely available, kind of a larger batch version of drum, just came out recently, and I'm going to open that here for the first time today and kind of compare the two, and we'll see what we think is the difference between them. The regular version comes in at 46%, so you know, a good percentage lower than the committee release. We'll see what kind of difference that makes. All right, so the drum matured mostly in ex-bourbon casks, and then they transferred that whiskey into ex-rum casks to finish it. And this, in fact, is the first ever Ardbeg that has been finished in rum casks. So kind of a cool first addition to see what their peated whiskey, how it kind of takes to the sweet tropical notes and the sort of the brown sugar and molasses that comes with the rum influence. So I just poured a little bit of the committee release. We're going to open up the regular version as well for the first time, and we'll see how that goes. Oh, beautiful cork pop. Nothing like the first cork pop, right? So satisfying. All right, so I'm going to pour them in identical glasses here. I got out my fancy glasses for the best distillery in the world, of course. Ardbeg is the only distillery that matters, I think, well, outside of Texas anyway. So, yeah, right away between the two, you can tell the higher proof on the committee release for sure. It kind of leaps out of the glass a little bit more, and it has that classic, you know, peaty and meaty smoke that Ardbeg has. To me, it always comes across as you know, very sort of proteiny, if you will, and also briny. Kind of salt, that coastal influence coming in there. Altogether on the nose, at least at first, it doesn't come off too terribly different than some of the regular Ardbeg releases. I would even call it's almost like a cast strength version of the 10-year-old, but there's something else going on in there as well. You get these sort of top notes of tropical fruit, of course, you know, pineapple, papaya, ripe banana, that sort of thing. sort of just riding along the top of it. Yeah, and this immediately, the regular release still smells really nice, but it's just much more subtle and muted, which is to be expected. I don't know if it's exactly cask strength, but that's kind of what we're getting with the committee release is a high enough proof version to make it have a lot more of an impact. All right, so let's go ahead and give them a taste, see how they compare. Oh yeah, that's just so great. That's so much better than the Grooves from last year, in my opinion. No, oh, Grooves, nobody liked you. Nobody really seemed to like Grooves, did they? I'm sure some people did. I don't like Grooves nearly as much as I like the drum. I feel like the rum influence really brings an interesting dimension to sort of what you would expect from Ardbeg. So all of that kind of meaty smoke with a little bit of like campfire, ash and peat kind of comes through. But then you have this kind of undercurrent of molasses richness with like almost a chocolatey / maybe brown sugar. It's kind of in that ballpark, molasses, chocolate, brown sugar, kind of undercurrent to the whole thing. And then over the top, it's all these tropical fruit notes, like I was saying, your pineapple, your banana. Still also a lot of, it's got a really long finish of a lot of black pepper, I'd say. That's kind of the predominant note I get on the finish there. So it's kind of starts out with what you would expect a cask strength Ardbeg 10 to taste like, with all of that meaty smoke and brine and peat. And then it kind of transitions into these more subtle, rich dessert type notes and also the fruitiness that comes through. And then it finishes off with this strong black pepper. All right, so let's compare that to the regular release and see what we get. Interesting. Yeah, I feel like the rum influence in particular on the regular release is kind of dialed down more so than anything else. It still tastes like kind of an Ardbeg 10 sort of thing. There's hints of that same chocolate and molasses and hints of those tropical fruits, but just not nearly as prominent as they are in the committee release. It still finishes off with that strong black pepper, but just doesn't have quite nearly the punch or the intensity or density of flavor as the committee release does, which, you know, it just isn't surprising with the proof and everything. It makes sense that there would be a much bigger flavor impact from the committee release. But that said, this is still a very pleasant whiskey. Absolutely worth picking up. I want to say this guy was about $120 for me, and this one was about $100. So for the price difference, if you could still find it, I would absolutely spend the extra $20, $30, whatever it is near you, to get the committee release. If you happen to see some on a shelf, which, you know, at this point, probably not going to find it, unfortunately. But if you can't find the committee release, still going to go ahead and give a recommend to the regular release of Drum. I think it's still absolutely worthwhile. And we'll see as it opens. Like I said, we just opened this bottle right here, so as it kind of opens up and goes past the shoulder a little bit, I'll be interested to see how it changes if it opens up a bit, if I get more of those tropical fruit notes, more of that rum influence coming through. Yeah, even as it rests in the glass here a little bit, just a few minutes, I am getting a little bit more of that fruity kind of tropical sweetness coming in. And go back to the committee release one more time. Give it a try. Oh, somebody's curious about the. All right, well, you take the regular one. We'll see what you think. Hey, no. Bad. Wait. No. You're gonna break it. You're gonna break it. Yeah, same thing here though. This, the committee release, as it sits for a few minutes, and as I kind of swirl it around in the glass, opens up still a little more than when I first poured it. And probably as I become acclimated to the proof and everything as well, I get more of those rum notes. And I've actually been exposed to quite a few nicer rums here recently, something that I'm just not very well versed in, and some good friends of mine have poured me and given me samples of some nice rum, so I've gotten to explore kind of a range of good quality rum, and I feel like I'm picking up some of what I experience in those rums in this Ardbeg. It sort of informs my opinion of it a little bit more, having some rum experience to compare it to. So that's always something, whether it's sherry or whether we're talking about port or something like rum. Definitely encourage you to go out and try other spirits, other types of wines, if you want to get a good sense of what kind of influence they have on the whiskey, what sort of flavors you might be looking for. If a whiskey is finished in rum like this one or any other sort of cask finish, go out and buy some examples of that liquor, some examples of that wine, whatever it is, and give those a try. And that sort of informs you as to what sort of influence it has on the whiskey. Hey. All right, well, apparently my drum bottle, both the drum bottles have now been stolen. So, oh, hey, whoa, that's my glass. So they've both been stolen, and I'm gonna sick the cult on you. Cheers, guys. I hope everybody has a happy Ardbeg day. If there's not an event near you that you can go out and hang out with a bunch of other Ardbeg freaks, then, which I'm going to be doing on Saturday, we're going to be doing on Saturday, if somebody can behave themselves, then I hope you'll crack open some Ardbeg at home and enjoy it with whatever local cult members you can join up with. Or recruit your own. You know, we're always looking for new members, right? Right, exactly. All right, that'll do it till next time. Cheers, guys.
What are you doing? We talked about this. You trying to do a sacrifice? Get out of here.